this video we're going to look at how to construct more complicated shapes with curves and complicated curved surfaces as well. Now to complete this tutorial you'll need a pencil or a pen. It just so happens that I'm drawing with a biro here, but it would work fine with a pencil. I've also used a black marker for outlines. So we're going to draw this PC mouse right here, and it's got lots of curving surfaces that curve front to back, surfaces that curve over the top, and we've got lines that follow curves, and we've got rounded corners. So there's quite a lot going on here, but we have to remember, just with our complex curves lessons, that everything that's curvy can fit inside a box, can fit inside a crate. So when we go ahead and draw this, we're going to start off by defining that crate, which goes as follows. So I'm going to start by drawing my front edge, so, and like that. I'm using a nice light stroke to begin with, and I'm picking isometric here as my viewing or as my pictorial method. So I'm throwing back lines at 30 degrees. I don't know how long these lines have to be. I'm probably drawing them in longer than I need. And then picking roughly where the back of our first box is, there, and sides of our box like there, and then drawing lines going backwards from that point, and 30 degrees from that point. Now, we should draw the box completely see-through, so we should put the height line right at the back corner and take lines back from here to here. Okay. So we've got a see-through box, and it's into this box that we can fit this complicated shape. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mark a position about a third of the way up the verticals, and all 4 verticals like that. A little dot, and that's, if you like, that's the transition point from the flat side of the mouse into the curvy side, and it's the same all the way around. We're also going to mark a line about a third of the way back, approximately, between a third and a half, about there. And I'm going to project back across and down at the other side as well. And we may have to, always good to draw it completely see-through to start with. So this point up here that we've just created, we're going to draw a nice elegant curve from here up to that point, so it just comes up tangent and then sweeps back down to meet that point right there. And we have to do that front and back, so this side and this side. So from this point up to there to hit a nice tangent at the top, and then continue that down. And because it's a construction line, we can make it longer than we need. I'm going to continue. I'm going to join those 2 lines up there, and we're going to join these 2 little points up back here. Now already we've started to define the shape in there. We're going to add on the curved corners. Now, you'll remember from the circles lesson that when you have a flat isometric plane like this, to build an ellipse from here, we essentially have 4 different types of corners. So we've got one that sweeps like there, and we've got one that goes around the top like this bit, and then we've got a joining piece here and a joining piece there. And crudely put, we have to take those 4 different curves, 1, 2, 3, 4, and spread them around the base of this box that we've done here. So let's go for this one, number 1 right here. Well, that happens down in this corner, okay, so just like that, okay. Number 2, which is here, happens at this corner in here, so let's draw a nice sweeping curve that's tangent to both. Number 3 is our far away corner. We've got to try and make these all roughly the same size. And finally number 4, which is down here. I'm just going to curve that off like this. The same should happen on the top curved surface of this as well, but that's a little harder to construct. So for now, if we can just do something gentle like this, just a nice sort of blend from there to there, and as we go back here, it really becomes almost impossible to see certainly not worth our while drawing it, but we'll put a little rounded bit at the back there. So we're already starting to build the overall shape, and all we've done so far is use boxes and the corners of an isometric ellipse to round them off. Let's add in the buttons now. So the buttons are a line about halfway across this front face, possibly about there, certainly about there. And this curve that we've got going on at this side and this side, we have to sort of copy that. Okay. And that's just going to go ahead, copy that, get something under my page right there. Give me a little bump, so that's better. So we've now got the same curve there, there, and there. I'm going to decide how far up this line goes. Let's put it to about there. You can choose it to be somewhere different. So that's the basics of our mouse right there. Our buttons have got a little thickness to them, so let's add a little thickness. Let's, at the corner here, let's drop down, let's go to that line there, let's put a construction line into that line right there. Okay, and say that we're going to find the thickness of a button along that line. Okay, and let's say it's about that thick right there. That same thickness, it's going to come round the curve, and we're going to have to find that same thickness right there as well. So now we're going to try and get a smooth line that follows the one we've already drawn, just slightly offset from it. And as we go along here, and we'll get into a complicated corner, but it just follows this line going up like that, just like that. And there we've found the thickness of our button in there. Now, truth be told, I think there'd be a little gap in there. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put another little line in here, and I'm going to put a little train track along there, so we've got a little gap. So that's the basics of our mouse, built using boxes and curves. But now we've got a problem. All the lines are the same weight. It's really hard to tell which are the lines that we intend to keep and the lines that we have to get rid of. Now I'm using a pen, so I can't rub these things out. So the next thing I can do then is I can make the lines that I want to keep much more prominent. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to darken them. I hope that my pen lasts. It feels like it's on the way out. Well, I'll use this, I've got one of these drawing pens right here. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to darken the lines that I want to keep. Now I've changed my grip. It might not be obvious, but I'm now holding the pen a lot closer to the tip, closer to what you would call your writing grip as opposed to a sketching grip, which is possibly further down with the pencil. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to join these up. Now, one thing I've not been doing, which you should be doing, is you should be rotating the page to find the best angle that you want to work with. As it happens, it's quite easy for me just to actually adjust my body, but if you're sat at a desk, I'd advocate that you rotate the page. So we've got a complicated area going on here. We've got one curve turning into another, turning into another curve. We don't quite know where that's going. In my experience, when we get to a complicated curve thing like this, we make sure that the outline is just curving all the time. So I don't really know what the curve is in this top edge. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to come across and I'm just going to put in a round corner. And that tends to work in most instances. And it's the same at the other side. We've got round in this back corner, we've got a curve wrapping round left to right, we've got a curve going across the top. So where we get stuff that's complicated, just put in a general curve. Now I don't think that this line here should be darkened. I think that's possibly just a kind of contour line. So I'm going to leave that alone. So I'm going to darken those lines as well. So we've managed to find the line in there. Now what I tend to do is I tend to get my marker. In this case I've got a Sharpie marker, and I do the silhouette of the whole thing. makes it pop out from the background. Now you don't need a, let me turn the page now, you don't need a Sharpie marker to do this. You can just simply use a thicker pen, or you can go around it with the same pen. It just adds a little bit more weight to it. Something else that helps you figure out, particularly if you're going to take this on and render it in pencil or something like that, quite often contour lines help to help sort of determine what the shape is. And I put a contour line in here because I thought there was going to be a little sort of thumb, a little depression for your thumb. So I'm going to put a contour line in, which is just a really light, suggests a curve. And then up the side of this, I'm going to put a little contour line which describes to me the shape of the surface. Bearing in mind that it's isometric projection, so our line should either be vertical or going away from us at 30 degrees. So to recap, first thing we did was we drew our box, we drew a crate into which the extremities of this model would fit. Then we made sure that crate was transparent. Then we found our little interesting points, our points of interest, and we marked them around the crate. We did ones a third of the way up there, and we also marked in a line roughly here, a third of the way back. And then we drew our curves on one side only, one side there, and then the same at the back. We joined those up, and we found the curves for the buttons as well. We carved off the whole shape. We put on filleted corners, the corners here, and for those we just used the corners of an ellipse, as we know how to construct using isometric ellipses and diamonds, 1, 2, 3 and 4. The next stage would be to take this on, if we're happy with it, to take this on and render it to look like plastic.